high school career, did you suffer from? Okay, wait, no, just kidding. So I think should high school students start school later or not? When you think of your high school career, did you suffer from lack of motivation, fall asleep in class? Are your grades suffering? It's not your fault. Are you injury prone? Suffer from anxiety or depression? Well, it's not your fault. Do you miss simply social cues or get in trouble for having a fresh mouth? It's not your fault. Are you overweight? Have you had a car accident? Struggling to get to class on time? Well, it's not your fault. Recently, the American Pediatric Society published a new policy which labeled insufficient sleep as one of the most common, important, and potentially remediable health crises impacting youth today. And the American Association of Pediatric Journals said that recently the American Pediatric Society published a new policy. Oh, just kidding, I just read that. Yeah, so today I will show you how your negative memories of high school frustrations were not your fault, but the results of our internal body clock changes and our external societal demands that are mismatched and fighting one another. Something you have very little impact on. So the National Sleep Foundation recommendations. The National Sleep Foundation says that high school students require 8.5 to 9 1/4 hours per night of sleep to work at a peak performance. The lack of sufficient sleep can impair your ability to be alert, pay attention, problem solve, and cope with stress. It can carry a significant risk for drowsy driving, cause you to suffer from emotional and behavioral problems like irritability, depression, and poor impulse control. It causes significant health complaints and increase in tobacco and alcohol use. Also, it can impair your cognitive function and lower overall performance in athletics and academics. So, high school students require 8.5 to 9 1/4 hours of sleep per night, and the consequences of insufficient sleep. And 80% of the high school students do not get a sufficient amount of sleep. So, Judith Olson, Director of Sleep Medicine at Children's National Medical Center in Washington, D.C., says, by the time students are high school seniors, they are averaging less than 7 hours of sleep. So, why not just sleep more? Well, there's a biology versus societal demand. The biology tells us with the onset of puberty is an alteration of the body clock or certain rhythm of the body. Most adolescents shift towards favoring staying up later, even without the influence of social media. Teens often have a difficulty falling asleep before 11 p.m. Often they may not feel alert until 10 a.m. An experiment by Dr. Mary A. Karskadon of Brown University tests the melatonin secretion in adolescents as they mature. The findings showed that melatonin secretion occurred at a later time in the evening than younger children. Thus, they fall asleep later in the evening and sleep later in the morning. The societal demands are combined with biology. We have the societal demands on high schoolers. Those are like after-school jobs, homework requirements, late-night social media use, and extracurricular activities. So Dr. Mary A. Karskadon, the director of EP Bradley Hospital Research, says that even without the pressure of biological changes, if you combine an early school start time, say 7:30 a.m. with a modest commute, 6:15, because of viable rising time with adding makeup and hair for the girls. With our knowledge that optimal sleep needs 1/4 hours. We are asking 16-year-olds to go to bed at 9 p.m. or earlier to be at peak performance for school. So the combined with what can be done about insufficient sleep? Not much can be done about the biology of a high schooler. Experiments show that the biological clock can be altered a bit, but takes significant work. Social demands are a more likely area to find change. Since 1990s, parents have been calling for high schoolers to start later. However, this has had little impact on school systems. In 2014, the American Association of Pediatrics published a policy pushing the agenda further from high school classes to start later. The report showed over 200 schools that changed their start time, showing success. In Minneapolis, 18,000 high school students had their start time moved back over an hour. They found they got more sleep, called in sick less frequently, had fewer dropouts, and the data also show they improved their mood and motivation, as well as a significant decrease in accidents in this age. In conclusion, insufficient sleep is an epidemic for high schoolers. Insufficient sleep is a hindrance to high schoolers, their families, and society in general. We can't change the body clock, but we can change the societal demands. There's a significant research that shows a late start for high schoolers provides sufficient benefits. Thus, because of biological and societal demands, high school students need to start school later in the mornings. One last thing, summer fall, we were exhausted. There we go.